I'm Steve Ackerman. I'm Associate Professor of Plant Molecular Biochemistry. I'm at the University of Massachusetts in the Biology Department, and I'm also the Director of the Biochemistry program. I started using Camtasia Relay in the fall of 2009 for my graduate course in Advanced Molecular Biology, and subsequently I've used it every year since. The Camtasia Relay is used in my courses as an audio-video recording of what I'm presenting. This allows the students to have more than just a video, or rather an audio recording, because the audio recording doesn't show them what slides I am discussing. When they can have an audio and video recording linked together, they can see exactly what slide I'm discussing, and by using the mouse pointer on the computer screen, I can be pointing to specific aspects of each figure so they know exactly what I'm talking about. I have been using Relay for every lecture that I record. In the fall of 2009, we were able to initiate it for the last 4 lectures in my course, and despite the fact that it was graduate students, they immediately loved it. They said it was the best thing that they had ever seen. Interestingly, in that graduate course, Advanced Molecular Biology, we had 3 students who had brought in their camcorders, so they were videotaping me, and using the Camtasia, they stopped videotaping me because it was much higher quality, it made it much easier for them, and they loved it a great deal. When I first started using it in the undergraduate course in the spring of 2010, none of the students were familiar with it, and by the 4th lecture they told me if I stopped using it, they had friends who would come after me. So quite clearly the students wanted it, needed it, insisted on it. The importance of this became very clear for several reasons. Number one, UMass Boston has a rather unique group of students. Many of them are self-supporting, and therefore they work 1 or more jobs. This brings up a number of other points, i.e. learning disabilities or different ways that people learn. And indeed, many people have said to me they do not like sitting in a large lecture hall. It is not very good for their learning capabilities. They prefer to watch this at home. We had a student last spring, 2009, who suffers from cystic fibrosis. He had a flare-up and he missed a month of lectures. All his other courses he got a medical incomplete for, but my course, because we use Camtasia, he was able to watch the lectures. He came in, take the exams, and received an A-. And another group of students said they could sit in class, absorb the material without taking notes, and then go home and listen to it and start writing down what was really pertinent, so they heard it several times. The use of Camtasia has not affected how I present my lectures. It has not impacted how I set up my slideshows. I have worked a little bit with a tablet, so instead of drawing on a blackboard, I can draw on the tablet, and therefore the students who are viewing it will see what I would have drawn on a blackboard. But it means that as I'm lecturing, I guess it has had an impact. I don't have to speed up at the end of the lecture to cover all the material. If something has not been covered, I can say to the students, I will add an addendum lecture which contains the other material that we didn't get to. And I can go back to my office and record another 10 or 20 minutes and put that up on the web as part 2. And therefore, rather than rushing through the material, I can make sure that the students have understood everything, answer any questions they may have, and not worry that we didn't cover something important. So in the sense of changing my lecture style, it really hasn't. Changing my slideshow, it hasn't. Worrying about covering all the material, it has changed that. I now know I can add more material in at any time. But I think as people get to see how this works and really how easy it is to use, and also the great support staff that we have to help out all the problems I cause, I think that that means that people will be very willing to employ the Camtasia and even other technologies to help the students in their learning abilities.